No one tells you that leaving a toxic parent doesn't feel like freedom at first. It feels like betrayal. It feels like you've done something unforgivable, like you've abandoned someone who needed you. Even when that parent hurt you, even when staying meant slowly disappearing. So if you've ever walked away and then been crushed by guilt, if your mind keeps asking, what kind of person leaves their own parent? This isn't proof that you're wrong. It's proof that you were conditioned to stay. If you grew up feeling responsible for your parents' emotions, you're not alone. And this conversation is for you. Like this video if this topic needs to be talked about more, and subscribe if you want honest psychology without sugarcoating. If you've ever tried to set boundaries with a toxic parent, or gone low contact or no contact altogether, you may have felt something that doesn't make logical sense but feels overwhelming anyway. Guilt. Not the mild kind, the heavy, chest-tightening kind. The kind that whispers, you're cruel, you're selfish, you're abandoning them. Even when you know intellectually that the relationship was harmful. This guilt doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you're caught inside something called F.O.G. Fear, obligation, and guilt. And once you understand how F.O.G works, that guilt begins to lose its power. F.O.G isn't just an emotional reaction. It's a psychological conditioning system that often develops in childhood. When you grow up with a toxic parent, emotionally immature, manipulative, controlling, or abusive, you don't learn that love is safe and mutual. You learn that love is conditional. Conditional on compliance, loyalty, emotional caretaking, and self-sacrifice. Over time, your nervous system is trained to believe that separation equals danger. Not because your parent will literally die without you, but because you were made responsible for their emotional stability. And that's where F.O.G takes root. The fear. If I leave, something bad will happen. Fear is usually the first layer. This isn't always fear of physical punishment. More often, it's fear of being disowned, being smeared or villainized, being seen as ungrateful, causing emotional collapse in your parent, being alone or unloved. As a child, your survival depended on staying emotionally connected to your caregiver, even if that caregiver was unsafe. So your nervous system learned a simple equation. Distance equals danger. Compliance equals safety. That equation doesn't disappear just because you're an adult now. So when you create distance, your body reacts as if you're doing something life-threatening, even when you're just choosing peace. Obligation is the most socially reinforced part of F.O.G. You've probably heard phrases like, they're still your parents. You only get one mother or father. Family is everything. You'll regret it when they're gone. These messages imply that parenthood itself earns lifelong access regardless of behavior. But here's the psychological truth. Being someone's child does not make you their emotional property. Many toxic parents blur this line early. They may have confided in you like a partner, relied on you for emotional regulation, made you their mediator, protector, or therapist, expected loyalty at the expense of your well-being. So obligation wasn't just taught, it was installed. You weren't raised to ask, is this relationship healthy? You were raised to ask, am I doing enough? The guilt. I'm a bad person. Guilt is the emotional glue that keeps fear and obligation in place. But this guilt isn't coming from harming someone. It's coming from breaking a rule you never agreed to. A rule that says you must endure harm to prove love. You must prioritize your parents' feelings over your own. You must stay, no matter the cost. When you step away, your mind doesn't say, "I'm protecting myself." It says, "I'm betraying them." That's not conscience, that's conditioning. Healthy guilt alerts you when you violate your values. Toxic guilt appears when you violate someone else's control over you. One of the most painful beliefs people carry is the idea that leaving equals abandonment. But abandonment implies unjustified withdrawal from a healthy bond. What you're actually doing is ending participation in a harmful dynamic. Here's the key distinction. Abandonment leaves someone helpless. Boundaries leave someone responsible for themselves. Toxic parents often frame boundaries as cruelty because they benefited from your lack of them. So when you step back, it feels like you're doing something wrong because the system only worked when you were the one carrying the emotional weight. Underneath guilt, there's often grief. Grief for the parent you never had, the relationship you hoped would change, the fantasy of unconditional love. Letting go of a toxic parent isn't just about separation, it's about mourning an unmet need. And guilt often shows up to distract you from that grief, because grief would mean acknowledging the truth that the relationship was never what you needed it to be. Healing means clearing the F.O.G, not erasing love. Choosing distance doesn't mean you hate your parents. It doesn't mean you're heartless. It doesn't mean you're abandoning them. It means you're refusing to abandon yourself. As F.O.G lifts, something shifts. Fear becomes discernment. Obligation becomes choice. Guilt becomes self-respect. And you begin to realize something powerful. Love that requires your suffering is not love, it's control. You're allowed to choose safety over loyalty. You're allowed to choose peace over chaos. You're allowed to choose adulthood over emotional captivity. Not because you're cruel, but because you're finally free. Walking away from harm doesn't make you a bad person. If you're ready to unlearn that lie, support this work by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Your engagement helps this message reach the people who need it most.